right, let's jump into another deep dive. Today we're tackling Canibus and Dragon of Judah.
Oh, interesting choice.
Right. I mean, you know Canibus for all those wild rhyme schemes
Yeah.
and that vocabulary, but
Right.
Dragon of Judah, this one, it's like a whole other level.
It really is. You've got the social commentary, you've got the personal stuff,
Yeah.
and then you throw in some conspiracy theories.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like he just crammed, it's like a whole philosophy in one track.
Absolutely. It's dense.
Yeah.
It's a dense one.
And it all flows together so well, you know? He jumps from this apocalyptic world to the music industry inner workings, and it's like a roller coaster, man. You really got to be paying attention.
Yeah, absolutely.
To catch all those little things he throws in there.
It's a lot to unpack.
It is.
So maybe we start with that first verse.
Okay.
I mean, it's intense. Like you're dropped right into a movie, right?
Yeah.
You've got spaceships, societal collapse, medical experimentation. Heavy.
It's heavy stuff, and I think he's tapping into something there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know, we all have those anxieties.
Right.
About where technology's going, about those in power, about our environment. And remember, this track came out when people were really starting to think about, you know, the role of tech in our lives. It's almost like a prophecy, you know, warning about what could be.
It's definitely got that feel to it, this like warning, like something's coming.
Right.
Yeah.
This sense of foreboding.
Absolutely. And then there's that line, the Dragon of Judah executed the lion from Narnia.
Ooh, that one.
It's like a puzzle wrapped in a metaphor. What's he getting at there?
That's classic Canibus, man. He loves to layer those meanings.
Right.
So you've got the Dragon of Judah, often linked to strength, power, right? And he takes down the lion from Narnia, innocence.
Yeah.
So it feels like he's talking about the world as a whole, how power corrupts, how the innocent get caught in the crossfire. It's almost biblical.
Yeah, definitely biblical imagery.
Yeah.
And then he kind of switches gears.
Yeah.
He says, the weight of the language I spoke to you are so emotional, I don't even know what to do.
Yeah.
It's like he's realizing the impact his words have.
Totally. It's like he's acknowledging that we have a choice in how we respond to what he's saying. It's not just a lecture, it's a conversation.
Right. Like he's inviting us into this.
Exactly.
And then we hit verse 2.
Yeah.
And the whole energy shifts.
Oh, completely.
Now he's talking about the music industry.
Right.
And there's this like this rawness, almost this pain in his voice.
Yeah.
It's like betrayal.
Yeah, it's like he's peeling back that curtain, you know, the music industry. It's all glamorous on the surface, but he's showing us that dark side.
Absolutely.
The beef DVDs, feeling like other artists didn't have his back.
Right.
And how the industry just eats up conflict.
It's like he's saying, look, this is the reality.
Yeah.
And the way he says, you mean all that money went to QD3? I should have slammed the door in his face.
Yeah.
You can hear it, the frustration.
It's raw. Like it really got to him.
It's personal. And then he name drops Professor Griff from Public Enemy.
Oh, yeah. That's a powerful reference.
What do you think he's trying to say there?
I think he's aligning himself with that legacy. Professor Griff, he was all about speaking truth to power, no matter the cost. And Canibus, he's doing the same. He's not just here to entertain. He's challenging the way things are, just like Public Enemy.
So it's about more than just music.
Absolutely. It's about making a statement.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then he says, beef in hip-hop is just aimless entertainment.
Interesting.
It's like he's questioning that whole beef culture in the industry. Like it's all manufactured drama.
Yeah, he's definitely making us think about how we view these conflicts.
Yeah.
He's been through it, so he knows how they can get twisted and used for profit.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder who's really benefiting.
Right. Who's pulling the strings?
Exactly. And it's not just about the money, you know, it's deeper than that.
Right.
It's that feeling of violation when he talks about how the industry treats artists like rape. That's heavy stuff.
A heavy image for sure.
Yeah. And he's using it to show that emotional and artistic exploitation.
Yeah, it made me stop and think.
Right.
It's like he's saying the industry is a predator taking something precious without consent.
Exactly. And it makes you think about the power dynamics, who's in control.
It's a disturbing thought for sure.
Yeah, and he goes on to talk about other artists like K Solo, Eazy-E, who he felt were taken advantage of. And then he uses that term blaxploitation.
Right.
And that just adds another layer to everything.
It's like he's connecting the music industry to this larger system of exploitation.
Yeah.
Something that's been going on for generations.
Exactly. It's not just a few bad people. It's a whole system. It's rooted in history.
And he's not afraid to call out those who he thinks are responsible.
No, he's...
Like when he says, you took advantage of my disadvantages so you could make me look like Public Enemy's antagonist.
Right, he's holding them accountable. He's saying you used me.
Yeah.
You manipulated things to fit your narrative.
Yeah, and it makes you think about that whole LL Cool J beef in a new light.
Absolutely, all that media frenzy.
Yeah, it wasn't just a battle.
Right, and he brings that up again later when he says, I battled LL, I won, but I was a puppet on a string designed to make you think that Wyclef Jean was the king.
Man, that line gives me chills every time.
It's like he's saying, look, these beefs, they're orchestrated.
Yeah.
Someone's always pulling the strings to crown a new king.
It's all about control, right?
It is about control. And it goes back to what he said earlier about beef and hip-hop just being endless entertainment.
Right, we eat it up.
We do. And while we're distracted,
Yeah.
the real issues are ignored.
And he's making us question our role in all of this, aren't we?
Exactly. Are we part of the problem?
Yeah. Are we feeding the machine?
By buying into these narratives.
It's heavy stuff, Dragon of Judah.
It is.
It's more than just a song. It's a challenge.
It's a call to be more aware.
To think critically about what we're consuming.
And about the industry that produces it.
Exactly. And he doesn't let himself off the hook either. He admits his own part in it all.
Right, he owns his mistakes, but he's also
Yeah.
using his experience as a warning.
A cautionary tale.
Yeah, for other artists.
Don't get caught in the game.
Yeah, don't be a pawn.
It's a message that's even more relevant today.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, absolutely.
With social media and everyone fighting for attention.
It's amplified now.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
You can't escape it, and it makes you think about the damage these beefs do.
Yeah, the scars they leave behind.
On the artists and on hip-hop itself.
He's calling for authenticity.
Yeah.
For integrity, for artists to lift each other up instead of tearing each other down.
That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
Supporting each other.
That's the message. And I think even though Dragon of Judah is dark,
Yeah.
it's challenging. There's hope there too.
There's
It's a call to wake up to see things for what they are.
to demand something better.
And it reminds us that hip-hop can be more than just entertainment. It can be a force for good.
Yeah.
A platform for truth.
For real conversations about real issues.
That's what Canibus is doing here.
So we've really gone deep with this one Dragon of Judah.
Yeah, we've covered a lot.
Societal anxieties, that dark side of the music industry. We even touched on some biblical prophecy.
It's all in there.
But with all that darkness, all the criticism, is there like a glimmer of hope in there? Like, is Canibus giving us any answers, or is he just kind of lamenting the state of things?
It's a good question, and honestly, I think it depends on who's listening.
Okay.
Like, he doesn't lay out a step-by-step solution or anything,
Right.
but there's this defiance in his words, this refusal to just accept the way things are.
Right. He's definitely not passive.
No, not at all. And he wants us to think critically, to question everything, to make choices.
He definitely puts the responsibility on us.
He does. Like, remember that line? Yeah.
So I'm going to leave the choice up to you. It's powerful.
Oh, yeah. It's like he's saying, okay, I've shown you the problem. Now what are you going to do about it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's not just complaining. He's saying we have the power to change things.
It's a call to action. And by being so open about how his words affect people,
Yeah.
he's showing that art can be a catalyst.
Absolutely. Music isn't just entertainment. It can be a weapon.
A weapon against injustice.
Right.
And it makes me think about the title itself, Dragon of Judah. We talked about that biblical connection, the fight between good and evil.
Yeah.
But could it be something more? Like, could the Dragon of Judah actually represent resistance? Like, pushing back against everything Canibus is criticizing?
That's a really interesting take. You know the dragon is powerful.
Yeah.
It can destroy, but it can also protect.
Right, right.
So yeah, in this context, it could symbolize the power of hip-hop to fight back.
To stand up for what's right. To demand justice.
So instead of being this song of despair, Dragon of Judah is actually this like call to action.
It's a rallying cry, especially for those who feel marginalized, exploited.
It says, don't give up, fight back.
And that's what's so great about Canibus's work. It's complex, it's open to interpretation.
Makes you think.
He makes you work for it. He doesn't hand you the answers. You got to find your own meaning in his words.
Well, I think we've done a pretty good job of breaking it all down, this Dragon of Judah. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
Just the Canibus's Dragon of Judah. It's not just a song. It's an experience. It's a trip into this brilliant, complex mind. And he pushes us, makes us uncomfortable, makes us think differently. So next time you listen closely to those details. Let his words ignite something in you. that desire for change.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
It was my pleasure.
We'll be back soon with another track, and we'll unearth even more of those hidden meanings, those ideas that make you stop and think. Until then, keep listening, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.